and welcome back to yet another unboxing. Honest, I will be doing stuff other than Bluetti, honest. Anyway, after just doing the fridge power, we're now moving over to the next one. And again, sadly, I don't own this one. This is Rachel's, who's let me borrow it so I can do my little vids. So here we go. This is another new entry about to hit the UK market. Now, no ideas of what this could be yet. But those who are in the elite market for batteries might get a gist of what it could be. What I do know, it didn't have weigh a ton. So we have the usual setup of container box. Ignore this lunatic. He will not get out of the way of videos. That's Toffee, that's Furby. They've also got to be on the limelight, so just ignore him having a bit of an epi fit there. Anyway, this is the outer casing, so we'll just switch it over onto its side to get out the main one. Again, it's a bit clumsy, I know, but I've already got a good hand, so we have to make the best of what we can. Just remove the outer box. So, if you didn't guess, it's the Bluetti Elite 300 portable power station. One of the new range. As you're probably starting to notice, Bluetti are now popping out their range in three types. You have the Elite, which is part of this product range. You have the Apex range, and of course you have the Pioneer range, more recognisable by the blue not being blue but actually being orange on the front of your device. So as we get to the top, we have the usual manual. We then have the usual case of foam, and then you have the wonderful plastic bag, great for the recycling bin stuff, and a little box at the side which will be the gubbins, but we'll have a look at that in due course. Right, see if I can get this out one-handed in the bag because it'll be easier. No, that's a nut, so we'll just tip it on its side again. Get rid of these boxes with the foam out of the way so we can actually see the meat and veg of the products. Now we have the outer plastic bag that we're also favourably well known of, and your usual silicone beads for the condensation that could be in the box while it's in transit and storage, etc. Not the most dignified way of doing it, but hey up. Wouldn't be a Mackem if I didn't do it differently. Anyway, so here we have the Elite 300. Seeing as it's if we're around, we'll do from the back for a change. So you have a good ventilating system. Now with quite accessible screws for maintenance and cleaning, I guess, which is a nice improvement instead of being sealed and clipped units. And you have a nice little QR code which will tell you where to get your app. And we'll move round to the front. So you have your usual DC side here on the right, as I look at it from my end. You've got the cigarette socket, which is 12 volt and at 10 amps, and you have your other DC output of your XT connector, 12 volts 30 amps, and a DC input which is 12 volt to 60 volts 22 amps, 1200 watt for your solar connector. For a little device of this size, 1200 watts for solar is pretty decent as well. You have the usual name on the front of the package, but we now seem to be going for the grey as opposed to the blue that we're probably all used to. You then have a description and the fact it's coming in at 2400 watts with 3014.4 watt hours of battery storage. You then have your DC connectors with a USB-C at 100 watts, a USB-A at 15 watts, and you have two of them independently there, and a USB-C at 140 watts, which is a bit of a difference. You then have your DC button to turn the side on, and your AC side, which obviously covers the two 13 amp sockets that we have in the UK. And of course you have the main power. Pressing the main power on will start up the device in usual. Now you have your usual screen, and if we can see here, it's come with 34% of charge. Obviously we aren't running anything on at the moment, but if we just pop these buttons on, you'll see they light up to show you've selected those. So if you use anything on the DC side, so if you were using anything, you would see it down at the bottom here. If you were popping in your solar panels, your DC input here would pop in on the top, and the same for your AC output on the bottom and AC on the top. Turning it around, you've got two pretty sturdy handles here. On the other side you have your earthing screw, you have your circuit protection 20 amp fuse, and a little flap covering your 13 amp kettle plug type connector to charge the device. On the other side, just a cleared, so it's sealed unit on its side. On the back, or the bottom I should say, you have the usual silicone foot tabs to just stick on. So that's it. That is your new Elite 300. Relatively small size to have 3 kilowatts of storage is pretty decent in these days. But your general capacity is 2400 watt output and to a massive 4800 watt lifting power. Again, we've said the capacity is 3014.4, mustn't forget that, 0.4 watt hours of battery storage. We can take the 1200 watts of solar, and it also comes with a pretty decent 10 milliseconds UPS capability. Now, weight for its size, and to be fair, it isn't that much bigger than an AC 180, but boy, you can feel the difference in the weight of it. This is, for such a small device, 36.3 kilowatts, which is pretty massive, to be fair.
That's heavier than him.
So that's a pretty decent going over. So again, these are all LifePro batteries now. You're gonna get your good 3,000, 5,000, 4,000 cycles easily, 8 to 10 years, and still have an 80% charge on it. So it's gonna last you donkey's years. Though they do come with 5 years warranty. It has the usual Bluetooth, and brilliantly for the smaller devices as well now, you also connect to the cloud via Wi-Fi, which is a critical feature at it for me in my eyes. So yes, your dimensions, you have a length of 366 millimeters by 305 millimeters and 297 millimeters in height. So that is your Elite 300 unboxing. We're going to take a bit more of an in-depth look shortly, so look out for that videos. So in the meantime, if you have been watching, thank you for giving me your time. Please don't forget to like and share, and if you've got any questions or comment, pop it down in the comment section and we'll have a good chinwag and tell us about why you like the idea of the Elite 300. Is it something for you, or do you want the big Apex range? Look forward to chatting. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, share the video and subscribe to the channel.